everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Nicole. This is part 4. The clear paned doors slide open with a ding as I step onto the black welcome mat of the convenience store. I'm on a snack run today. Chandra and I are running low on our stash, so I volunteered to go shopping. Chandra has some cheer thing to take care of, so she couldn't come with me. It's no biggie. This way I can pick the snacks that I like and pretend it was just a coincidence. I'll just keep that a secret from Chandra, though. I'm on the hunt for gummy snacks, cookies, and maybe something salty. Corn chips sound so good right now, but maybe I'm being a bit too healthy. Salt and vinegar, on the other hand, my mouth waters as I think of the utter sinfulness of that flavor. Yes, I've decided. I'm getting salt and vinegar chips, and no one is going to stop me. Out of the way, people. Those chips are mine. Though there aren't many customers at the convenience store, which is really weird since this is the closest one to the campus. It's clean too, and everything's super organized. It might as well be a mini grocery store. I wonder why it's so empty right now. Then it's not like it's some weird time of day. It's the afternoon. Oh well, whatever. Guess that's just how business is. The guy at the register gives me an acknowledging, if half-hearted glance, then goes back to flipping through the pages of a magazine he's laid on the counter. Well, it's not like I was expecting great customer service here. I head to the racks of food down the thin aisle where they seem to keep the chips. So many brands, so many different styles of salt and vinegar. I do like Mingles, but I like Lay's too. You know what they say, delicious. Yeah, that wasn't their best slogan. I pick up a can of Mingles and a bag of Lay's and compare the sizes. They're both roughly around the same, and there's only $50 difference between the two. Ugh, this is hard. I weigh the packages in my hands, tipping them like they were on the opposite ends of a scale. Excuse me, miss. Any trouble here? Ha, cute. I bite back a smirk as I hear someone speak to me with a southern accent. Small world. That reminds me of Ted from the other day. I look up to say that I'm fine, but I stop once I see who I'm addressing. No wonder the guy made me think of Ted. It is Ted. Oh, hey, Ted. I didn't recognize your voice there. Ted flatly regards my enthusiasm. You think it'd stand out even more to you since we spoke. But howdy, Nicole. You need some help? I'm just getting snacks for me and my roommate. I hold up the chips on either side of my head. What do you think? Mingles or Lay's? What's your favorite? Ted squints his eyes and takes a good look at both of the choices. If I had to pick, I'd go with Lay's. Just personal preference. Good enough for me. I'm about to set the can of Mingles back on the row, but Ted clicks his tongue angrily at me. What are you doing? Put it back where you found it. Huh? Oh, sorry, geez. I take the Mingles can and take a few steps back to where I got it. I didn't think it was such a big deal. The customers never do. Let's see how you'd fancy having to mix up the merch every day, then come back and tell me that it ain't such a big deal. Oh, you work here, Ted? Why else would I be offering you help? It's my job. I don't know, to be nice? I'm not that nice. The sad thing is I don't think Ted's being sarcastic right now. So if you work here, does that explain what the heck you're wearing? I didn't want to say anything when I first saw Ted, but the gray jumpsuit he has on looks really weird. What's wrong with what I'm wearing? You look like you just got off your shift from a mechanic shop. Hey, these uniforms are supposed to be utilitarian. If it had all the frills and garlands, it'd get in the way of the work. That just defeats the purpose. I keep quiet for a few moments. You picked these out, didn't you? Ted stubbornly crosses his arms and turns his nose at me. Wow, you totally did pick those out. So what? They're not that bad. I sigh and shrug my shoulders. If you don't mind being a walking fashion disaster, sure. They're not that bad. But they're not that good either. Well, I respectfully disagree. Ted forces a smile on his face that strains his entire expression. Now, can I help you with anything else, miss? Or will I be forced to escort you off the premises? Yeah, he's definitely not being sarcastic now. I chuckle awkwardly to ease the tension between the two of us. Maybe this is why the store is so empty around this time of the day. Can you show me where you keep your cookies? And gummies too. All I need is to snag some of those and I'm all set. They're here in the next aisle over. Ted gestures for me to follow him and leads the way. We stop in front of a neat row of packaged cookies, and my eyes light up as I contemplate which ones to pick. The same happens when Ted takes me over to the gummy snacks. What can I say? Variety is the spice of life. Eventually, I end up with a nice collection going, and it takes the crook of my entire arm to carry all of them. Yep, this is definitely more than enough. I notice that Ted looks really weirded out by how many snacks I'm getting. Did you really need that much junk food? Hey, it's supposed to be like a few weeks worth of food. It's not like we're going to pig out on them. I know, but that's still a ton of sugar and unsaturated fat for 2 people. You're going to gain weight eating these. I just stare at him for a moment. Did he seriously just... Oh, I'm so going to pretend you didn't just say that. What'd I say? Ted gawks at me as I groan impatiently and stride past him towards the cashier. I just want to check out my snacks and go at this point. Too bad the guy behind the counter is already beating me to it. He's like halfway to the door. When Ted sees this, he pushes past me and toward the guy. Hey, where do you think you're going? The other guy is wearing the same ugly jumpsuit that Ted has on, so I'm guessing he works here at the convenience store too. I'm taking off. My shift's over for the day. No, it ain't. Remember, I told you. You have to work a few extra hours today to make up for the vacation time you took. Can't you just forget those? It's not like anything's ever going on. No one's gonna care if I'm not here. I hear Ted growl under his breath. I bet he'd have an animated vein pulsing on his forehead if this was some sort of cartoon. You mean like this? Listen here, punk. I don't care what your lazy excuse for a reason is, but you made a commitment to this job. As your superior, you follow what I say. And I'm telling you to stay and do your hours. Got it? Oh, I got it all right. The guy turns on his heel and runs out the sliding doors. Neither Ted nor I react with more than a blink until we realize what happened. He totally just ran away. That son of a gun. Get your ass back here. Ted bolts off past the glass doors, and I awkwardly hang back, wondering what to do. It'd be bad to leave the store unattended, but I want to see what Ted does to this guy. Call it morbid curiosity. However, when Ted drags himself back into the convenience store, I can tell there were no beatdowns to be had. He curses under his breath and heads behind the counter himself. Did you get him? Ted stays quiet as he punches a few keys on the register. I wasn't running as fast as I usually do, so that bastard gave me the slip. Poor guy. Nothing's worse than a bruised ego. I humor him with a sympathetic nod. So what do we do now? There's no helping it. I'll be the one to check you out. Is it so much to ask for a competent work around here? Ted reaches out and snatches a snack from under my arm, ringing it through the register way more aggressively than he should. He's gonna break my cookies if he keeps that up. I dump the rest of the snacks on the counter as neatly as I can. I don't want to have Ted screaming at me for having some messy row or something. Always the same damn thing. Get an application, meet them, they promise they'll work hard from the start, then I end up having to chase them out the door when they decide to skip out on work. As I notice him wringing my bag of gummy bears in his hands, I tentatively raise my voice. Ted? I gesture at his hands. Ted looks down at the plastic bag he's nearly crumpled into a ball and gasps. Whoa, sorry. It just really grinds my gears when people half-ass things like this. Don't you think? Ted looks at me expectantly for a response. I can sympathize with the guy, but I really just want my snacks here. So you've got 3 choices. He had a good excuse, he should have worked it out first, and I couldn't say. You're gonna want to pick, he should have worked it out first. When I think it over, the guy was pretty Riddick. Ted could have done it much better, but he was justified in yelling like he did. He shouldn't have ran out like that. It didn't sound like you were being unreasonable. Thank you. At least someone's got some dang sense. Ted smiles in relief when he hears me agree with him, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to rain on his parade. I hold up a finger. But you could have worded what you said so much better. You didn't even try to listen to the guy. Ted groans and braces himself against the counter, readying for an explanation. He's done this before. He'll promise to make up for his hours later, then he never gets around to doing it. It's useless to try and reason with slackers like that. See, that's what I'm talking about. You can't just go around calling people slackers. I lean against the counter into Ted. You kinda lack tact, my friend. Scratch that. You really lack tact. Ted frowns at me as he starts scanning my bag of Lays. Okay, he needs to be especially careful with those. I think I have tact. If you did, you wouldn't have went and told a girl that she's gonna gain weight. We're sensitive to these kinds of things. I hug my shoulders playfully, feigning the very image of a sensitive flower. Ted stares at me, not buying it. But you're skinny. What's the problem? I was only pointing out that you ruin your figure if you ate too much. It's a fact. I sigh and lean away, breaking form. Yep, totally tactless. Shut up. Don't call me tactless. And you're so yelly. I'm right here. You can talk normally. I'm not. Ted stops himself as he hears how yelly he's getting and quietly starts bagging my snacks, grumbling. Maybe I can get a wee bit yelly. Just a bit. Ted lets out a self-derisive laugh, and I smile as he finally seems to relax again. Yelling's a necessity, okay? I wouldn't waste my breath if I didn't have to. But no one listens to the guy in charge unless he gets loud. Oh, you're the boss of this place? Technically, the place is owned by my pa. Call it nepotism. But someone's gotta take control of this place while he's busy. But it has to be hardworking and going to school like this. Talk about pressure. It can get like that sometimes, but that just means I need to buckle down and work harder. Nothing's impossible. Ted hands me a plastic bag filled with all the snacks I picked out. Jeez, he makes everything sound so easy. Here you go. Now for your total. The price makes my wallet squirm in my back pocket, but I guess it could have been worse if I shopped anywhere else. I pay Ted the amount with my debit card and take my bag. You want the receipt? I shake my head and Ted crumbles the receipt in his hand. Okay, then you're set. Have a nice day. Thanks, you too. I hang the bag near my knees and grin jokingly at Ted. Maybe next time I can get a discount since I'm cozy with the boss. I don't even allow myself discounts. Ted says this with such a straight face that I wonder why I thought he'd ever play around with my joke at all. And I'm going to end it here for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more, just click the cards at the top and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.